So the idea of Everyday Oblivion comes from, the last year in particular, we're all home from the pandemic, and I hate that everything is centered around that.
I know.
But it was just this humongous part of everybody's lives, obviously. And for me personally, I got sent home from work for 3.5 months with no working. You worked from home.
I did.
But you still had work.
I don't have that job anymore, so.
Well,
Let's go.
ain't that something? So, but when I was home and kind of like alone in a house for a lot of my days, it was one of those things where every day I would wake up and I'd turn on the news and it would be like a new thing that was happening. And it wasn't even just the pandemic. It was like all those crazy fires were happening at one point. Again, political stuff was happening like crazy. There was like, obviously the events of January 6th happened, like all this crazy stuff was just happening. And every day it was like you woke up and you turned on the news and you learned about a new way that the world was ending and people were dying. And I just felt like I was stuck in this repetitive loop of just waking up and doing it and waking up and doing it. And it just felt worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and just grew. And that's exactly what we tried to do with the song. Not that it gets worse, but that it gets...
As you listen to it, the song gets progressively worse.
As you listen, it gets worse and worse. As you listen, it grows in intensity.
Right, it gets better.
It breathes. It like just becomes bigger and bigger and wider and more stuff goes on. And that was kind of the idea of it, was to the repetitive nature of the vocal again and again and again, and just adding all these new layers of sound over and over, where we did, it's in there more than I do at this point, but there was guitars.
Oh, you're talking about all the layers?
All the layers.
Infinite guitars.
Strings. Guitars. Keys. Synths.
Strings. You said strings?
There's strings.
There's
guitars, there's also strings.
But there's also, no, I know there's strings, but there's also strings.
I just said that too straight face. There's an arpeggio. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But the bottom line is, the idea was to continue to layer these things so that like as the vocal just kind of, like you're going through the same thing with the vocal again and again and again, and just all this stuff is just kind of being piled on top. And we're just trying to relay that emotion of what it was like to live through that moment, which I think is something that's super, for lack of a better word, it's like artistic, it's expressive. And
it gives a chance for the message to really make you focus on it.
No, it beats it into your head.
Yeah, but in a way where you just like trance out and you feel like you're almost like fading into oblivion with it.
It feels like you give up.
Yeah.
As you listen to it, it feels like you give up, and I think that is a feeling that I started to have.
In a relaxing way.
Yeah, like you just like this is just what it is now, right?
Yeah.
You just give up and like kind of give into it.
Yep.
So the thing that I love about this song is how accurately it captures the emotion that I was trying to convey. I think that it's like...
It's awesome.
It's like, I couldn't have, even listening to this and hearing me talk about it,
I can see your eyes right now.
It does not, I know, but when I listened to it the first time in the studio, I cried.
Yeah.
But even talking about it now and explaining it does not relay the emotion as well as actually listening to the song. And that's what I think is very, very beautiful about it. It's anthemic in that way. So hopefully that came across pretty clearly in the song when you guys listened to it. I don't see how it could not, but I've been wrong before. Not many times, but I have. So it's all about the struggles that we went through during that period with the pandemic. So if it feels good to get it off your chest, share with us some things that maybe you went through that you felt were kind of weighing on you during that this past year dealing with the pandemic. Share some of that with us if it feels good to get it out. And hopefully the song connects with you. And hopefully you've loved all the songs that we've shared in these.
Yeah, by now everything's out.
Yeah, now when you're watching this video, it's all out.
Yeah.
So hopefully you enjoyed the EP. Hopefully the emotions that we were trying to get across spoke to you, and hopefully you felt a little, you enjoyed it a little. Hopefully you did all the stuff that art is supposed to do, and we thank you guys for coming along on that journey with us.
You made it this far. Appreciate you.
And you're gonna keep going to infinity and beyond, or whatever. I don't know, something sappy and profound. But we love you guys. Thanks for watching these videos. Thanks for listening to the EP. Hope you love it as much as we love you.
We love you.
And yeah, and we'll talk again soon, guys.